We're waiting. Oh, good morning. I'm Beth Hildenbrand, and this is Booked with Beth. And this morning we have with us Carrie, Weston, and Teresa Keefer. Welcome, ladies.
Hey. Good morning.
I'm very late today, but that's normal for me, but not this late. So yes, we had some technical difficulties. So if you're just tuning in or you have been trying to tune in, sorry about that. So this morning, we're going to have a great chat about some really good books because I loved them both. So yes, I'll be rattling on this morning. So first, I'm going to let the ladies tell a little bit about themselves. I'll start with Carrie because some reason I always start in the upper corner when I have two guests. So Carrie, would you like to take a minute and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm Carrie Weston, and I'm a multi-genre author. So I write everything from clean romance, dark fantasy, all the way to horror. It's a nice, really bloody horror. Yeah, and I'm from Hereford. I live opposite a graveyard, literally 2 steps, and you're there. And I have lots of fur babies.
Alrighty then. We like the fur babies. I have 4 cats and 2 dogs. So fur babies here. Yeah, they make me crazy. Oh, and Vera is here. Hello, Vera. Good morning to you. Okay, Teresa.
Yes. So I'm Teresa Keefer. I live in the United States, Midwest, rural Midwest. And I write everything from contemporary romance to paranormal to even some, I guess it's coined erotic horror on Amazon. So I just a little bit of everything. And I do have a psychological thriller that I wrote just to kind of step out of the normal romance thing. So.
Excellent. And you're from Indy or Indianapolis
Indiana.
Or Indiana.
Yes.
So a fellow Indy girl. I lived there for a while myself, have plenty of family out there. And it was I couldn't get used to the flat after living in Pennsylvania with all the hills. That was something that threw me. Everything looked the same. I was always getting lost out there because everything was so flat. And it just used to drive me crazy. I was always getting lost. If I could find Meridian, I was good. Right. I could find my way from Meridian, but I always had to. There were some streets I could find my way home from, and I knew if I could get there, I could get home.
70. If I could find 70, I could make my way home. So.
Oh, there you go. That was another one. But boy, I would get lost like crazy out there. That whole loop-de-doo thing just. Forget it. I hated getting up on there. I've always lost. But yeah, I get lost at home too. So I'm terrible. I can tell you how to get from one place to another, but don't ask me a road name. No, because I can't tell you. So anyway, like I said, there goes the squirrel. So I read both of your books and I found them fascinating. I loved them to pieces. And Carrie, I read yours so long ago, I had to go back and kind of read it again because you were supposed to be here like a month ago.
Yeah.
And we could not find you the first time. We could not get you on the show. Josephine is here. Hello, Josephine. And yes, we had the worst time and didn't get you on the show the first time. So I'll take you first this morning since you've been waiting so long. Your book was Ascender.
Yeah.
And it was a spooky book, which we love because, I'm a spooky girl myself. And it was kind of cool. They would possess ghosts.
Mm-hmm. To help them fulfill their unfinished business.
Yes. And then when they did that, they ascended. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. I liked that. And that poor girl, what was her name? Tia.
Tia, yeah.
She had the hell of it with her ghost. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have wanted her job for anything.
We had to make it scary.
Yes, and you did. You pulled that off very well. I was like, dang, she's just having the worst time here. She got a heck of a ghost. Yule. I liked that name, Yule. Like Yule time.
Yep, exactly. That's very pagan, witchy.
It is.
Like all back in the 17th century. Witch trials. She had to go through the mill of it. She had to really suffer.
She did. Josephine is throwing questions at me, and I can't read through my bangs. How long have you been writing? She asks.
Wow. So officially, I've been writing about 5 years.
Is that all for all those books? Wow.
I've always wanted to be a writer since I was a little girl. So it was that or an acrobat, and yeah, no.
I'm always surprised.
I wouldn't fit in the leotard anyway.
I'm always surprised at how fast some authors can get books out. It seems to take me forever.
I don't know. I don't think I'm fast. Some people are like a couple of months. I'm like about a year.
Yeah, I'm about there too. Even the ones I even, managed to go quick seem to take a long time. Josephine, she is very good at writing books fast. I am not. But then I have so many other things going on when I'm doing it. How long is it for you, Teresa? Do you have a long time between books, or are you fairly quick?
It varies. It varies. It depends on what's going on in my life. I'm a human resource manager in my day job, so I do have a day job. If I could write all the time, I would sit and write all the time. Or like you, follow the squirrels out the window and. But I've been writing since I was probably in elementary school, just little short stuff. I always wanted to be a writer, and I finally published in 2012. So I've been doing this for 13 years.
Yeah, it's I only published maybe I was 50 when I put out my first book, and I'm going to tell on myself here. I turned 56. So I've only been publishing for 6 years. That put the squirrels in the box, Josephine says. She knows me too well. But then, I do this, and I usually put out a book of poetry in between my novels. And so that keeps me busy too. So I'm always writing something. Yeah. But my poetry is so sporadic, it just comes when it comes. I'm not somebody who can sit down and write poetry. It just kind of happens when it happens. So, I kind of collect it as time goes on, and it just seems to fall in between books. So that's nice that I have those to do. Josephine says, wow, 13 years. I'm about 5 years like Carrie. But written since she was in her 20s. Yeah, I've always written since elementary school, like you. I think I was in middle school, and I wrote a play from the song Jukebox Hero. I wrote a play of that. And then the class had to act it out. The whole class had to act it out. And then everybody got an A for that marking period.
That's cool.
For doing this crazy little play I wrote. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, I've been writing since forever. And, it's just fun. I enjoy it. And, it's just something I've always done. So, yeah. How many books do you have out, Teresa?
Oh, not including anthologies. I want to say 24. Maybe 25. I don't count. I've lost count, but I've participated in some anthologies, so I really don't count those.
Well, you girls have some big collections out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a few anthologies as well, but I feel the same way because they're shorter. We just kind of don't add them in.
I've only done one anthology. I can write an anthology story in a weekend. Can you do that too, Carrie?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. My fastest for an anthology.
Wow.
And I was crying. I was scribbling so fast. I was going, it's terrible.
Josephine wants to know what you guys think of being indie authors.
I like the control. Just be out there. I've got some published by publishers, small publishers, and Ascender, for instance, was on the desk of one of the big five for a long time, but then they didn't want it. So it's like so and I've done lots of indie ones since then, and I really do love having the control of the covers. It's written the way I want it, and bits emphasize the way you want them, and there's no cutting of character names or change the title. That's fine as well. It's absolutely fine both ways, but it's all personal preference, I think.
So. How about you, Teresa?
I like the indie author thing, again, because of the control. I don't have to change things up. I can write the way I want. And I have a wonderful team. I've got a PA that does my book covers. I've got a fellow author friend that does my editing. So I've got a formatter. When I started off, I didn't have all that. So it helps a lot in having this team behind. But I like the control it gives, because, I'm not under some kind of a deadline. If I want to take a whole year to write a book, I can, or if I want to stop midway through a book and start something new, I can do that too. And I do.
I do that as well. I usually have two or three books going at the same time. Like I said, I have my poetry that I can pop out whenever I want. And I'm working on, I have my Kane series, and hi, MJ. And I also have, I'm doing a book called Hex, and at the end, I'm throwing Kane in there. Kane appears, and then the girl in the Hex book ends up in the Kane books. Yes, Kane. Josephine loves Kane. I can do things like that. And it's nice to be able to check your KDP when you want to, because with the publisher, you never know. You just don't know. I had Kane published with a publisher, and I didn't like it at all. They had the cover, and I didn't like the cover. I hated the cover, and then they were squirrely. I didn't believe half of the stuff they were feeding me as far as what was going on. And, they had my books in all these weird places. And it was like, okay, I don't know what you people are doing. So I got out of that as quickly as I could. And then, I still had the rights to Kane, but I changed it around and did it my way. As soon as I was out of it, I didn't care for it at all. I recovered it, changed a few things, even changed the name around a bit. Instead of Kane Heretic Son, I did Kane the Heretic Son. I just made it mine again. I felt like I was handing my baby over to somebody else, and they were trying to change him. So I took him back.
Good. He's great.
Thank you.
I love reading him.
Oh, thank you. He's a real shit, but I love him. So, back to Ascender. There went the squirrel again. I'm talking about my books and not yours. That's not nice. Anyway, so the GPOS. Tell us about the GPOS.
Okay, so GPOS is short for Ghost Possessors, and it's a whole academy of government warriors who deal with ghosts that are like inhabiting the world. So if you think about it, you've got like dustbin men and things like that. These people, they get rid of all the lingering ghosts and ghouls and anything creepy and horrible and unseen. So to do that, they train in this academy, and then they get an assignment, and they have to call a ghost's name that they're given. They have to possess that ghost, travel back in time to when their era was, and view their life with them going through it and fix whatever their unfinished business was. So, I mean, for instance, one's very, very silly. But like one of them has a car fall on them and they just don't want the car falling on them, basically. They want to say goodbye to someone, and that's how they help them. They say goodbye to them. Apart from Tia is very much more complicated because she transports back to the 17th century witch trials. So she has to go through everything you went through, from ducking to hanging. And she's trying to convince them that Yule is innocent of witchcraft, which she is innocent of what they're accusing her of, but she is a witch. So it's very, very, very complicated. But there's a whole family descendant line through that comes down. And I'm going to give too much away.
Yes, don't give too much away. Don't give too much away. I try not to do that because I want everyone to buy this book. It's a very good book.
It's so easy to do.
It is. I hate, that's one thing I have a hard time with on the show. I want everybody to know how good the book is, but I try not to give it away at the same time. And I come close sometimes because it's like, but you have to understand, you got to buy this book and figure this out. And so, yes, you must read this book. It's just amazing. And
buy the book.
Yes, I tell people I am a best-selling #1 author, so you must listen to me and buy this book.
I like it.
I toot my own horn there so people know I am knowledgeable, so you must buy this book. And then there's like a second storyline with the Jacks.
Jinx,
yes. Jinx, Jax. It's been a rough morning, people.
That's
Stick with me here. Jinx, yes, and he's a witch, and he comes to this school place where the GPOS is.
He's the house witch. So
the house witch. That's it.
His job is he's from Snowdonia Mountains. That's where all the witches live. You know, because that's really close to me, like, so, yeah, we all live there. So he comes down, he's the grandson of the head witch. She sends him to investigate a murder within the GPOS that's happened to their house witch. Now, house witch protects the academy from all the lingering spirits. So basically, it keeps them all at bay so they can train and figure out how to do it properly rather than being overwhelmed.
Yes.
Because I'm imagining there's quite a lot out there. So, yeah, he's investigating this, and he's also slowly falling for Tia. Because why not?
Because you got to have the love part in there. Yeah,
totally.
So MJ says he's hooked. So it sounds like he's going to have to check out the book. Thank you, MJ.
Thank you.
And Vera wants to know, are there any characters based on people that you know?
Oh, yes.
Most of the people that I know I kill, and it's people I get mad at and kill off in my books.
I do a lot of that. Some people I can't say because, like, they're family. Like,
oh, yeah, I know who they are.
That's you, by the way. Okay, so let's think. Reese. So Reese is another GPOS trainee, and he's Welsh again, and he's a bit of a Jack the lad, likes having a bit of fun. He's a bit of a fisticuffy, and he's based on my brother. He's a bit of a lad, likes a drink and likes to, hey.
Oh.
Saying that, my brother's a teacher now, so he's all great on the narrow.
Okay. Sounds like me in my younger years. MJ wants to know what got you into witches.
Oh, right. I love witch stuff. Probably scare some people now, but hey, you know, I'm really into the whole. I like Reiki and witches and crystals and paganism and all of this, and I love taking little classes in them, actually. They're really interesting. I love magic, and I always have. I mean, Harry Potter, come on, practically grew up with that. Who doesn't want magic? I do. So that's like a huge thing. And then you think, wow, there are real witches. Can you do this type of thing? This is me at 14. I'll buy a witchcraft book. Don't tell Mum.
I think we all did.
I haven't done the mirror thing. A bit scared of that. But did I do it? Yes. Did I scare myself? I frightened the hell out of myself. Something moved, whether you believe it or not. If you don't, fine. But it happened. And I don't know, but you kind of get a thrill, don't you? So I was kind of hooked. After that, I started playing with my crystals and Reiki, and you can actually feel the energies, whether you believe it or not. It does make you feel better if you believe in it. It's probably psychological, but that's okay. And I'm really into it. I love looking at the witch trials because I find it so sexist. I don't like, I'm very pro-woman. We should all be equal. That's perfect. But women's rights are important too. And we've come a long way. And sometimes we forget that. And I think it needs boof, look how it used to be. Look how amazing you've got it now. And remember that sometimes some countries are still feeling that way, So, I've gone off on a tangent now. My squirrels are running.
Yeah. We all chase the squirrels. We all do the squirrel. We all do the squirrel, hon. It's all good. But since we're on witches, I want to talk about Samhain, which is Teresa's book. And I'll tell you what I did. You're going to laugh at me because, I'm a goof. Teresa sent me her book, and I could not find it. I looked everywhere for this book. And so I said, can Teresa send me her book again? And she sent it, and I realized what I had done. I looked at it 20 times. It was right there on my Kindle. And I thought it was one of my research books. I saw the title, and I thought it was one of my research books. It had been there all along. So that's why I didn't realize what it was. I had it the whole time. But this was a great book, and I really enjoyed it. I always have wanted to see New Orleans. So, that part of it was a treat for me. I have always wanted to see Ireland. So that part of it was a treat for me. And the story in itself was good. And it starts out with a coven of 8 sisters. And okay, so we only got to the one. So, I'm going to have to keep reading because I've got to find out what happens to the rest of them.
That's the whole point.
Yes. You drug me in there and then you left me hanging. I yelled at a girl for this last week. I was like, you just left me there. And now you've done it to me too. So yes, I have to get the next one. I was waiting for my pennies to come so that I can get it. Because Amazon pays us so much for these books that I had to wait for Amazon to pay me my pennies because I try and buy my books off my big Amazon paychecks. Yeah. I try and take it, don't take it out of the bill paying money. I try and keep all my book money separate. So you have to wait for those big Amazon paychecks for the books. Yes, I just got my big Amazon paycheck. Now I can go on my book splurge. But yes, it was a really good book, and I can't wait to see what happens next. There's these 8 witches, and it's coming on the famine time in Ireland.
Yep.
So they separate. But now is the time of the regathering, where they have to all come back together before there's this catastrophe in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it's Natalia. I don't know why I want to Natalia and Jamie. And Jamie is from Ireland. And he's got to come to New Orleans and convince Natalia that she's got to come to Ireland for this regathering thing. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, this ain't going to happen. Right, but there's this crazy witch ghost.
She's a pirate.
Yes.
One of the ancestors. She's a pirate.
Yes.
When she left Ireland, left her sisters, she joined up as a pirate and ended up in New Orleans. So she appears, and she's cheeky. She's cheeky.
A mess. I love her. She is fabulous. And I'm going to let you say.
She sings drunken bar song.
Yes, she does. And she's just fabulous. I love this character. I'm going to let you say her name because I can't pronounce Irish names for anything.
Oh, boy.
But don't tell me you can't pronounce it either.
I'm drawing a blank here. This is bad because I just got done writing Yule, and the character in that is Royce Briotti. So she's one of the sisters as well. Gosh, what is her? Is that awful? I don't know my character's name.
Do you say it like Siobhan?
Yeah, Siobhan.
Siobhan. Yes.
Siobhan.
Those names are. Well, I keep trying to say Stranraer properly, and I still can't get that one right. I have a hard.
It's Siobhan, and she was a pirate, and she ended up in New Orleans, and obviously the main character, Natalia, is one of her descendants and one of the chosen ones. So, and Natalia runs a witchcraft shop in New Orleans. So she's very independent and on her own. Jamie Daly, his sister is actually one of the sister's descendants. He's just kind of a offshoot of that. But he's a solicitor. And when things start going haywire, he picks up some of the magic himself, and his sister loses the magic. So there's kind of a little bit of comedy relief in there. So
yes, he starts talking to people who aren't there, or he starts talking to ghosts, and people think he's lost his mind.
Yes,
and it's because this crazy pirate witch lady has him seeing spirits. Mm-hmm. She's just the funniest character. She's just a lot of fun. And then when she starts cleaning his house, because
seduces people at the bar, she touches them at the bar in New Orleans, and they turn around and there's nobody there.
Yes. So. And at the bar in his sister's bar in Ireland.
It's in Ireland. Uh-huh.
And oh yes, she's a comic relief. I like comedy in books when you give it a little comic relief, and she's wonderful at that. She really is. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the next book. She just cracks me up. Well, and Aaron,
you'll like the elves. You'll like the elves in the next book then, because they're the comic relief in that one. Elves. Oh, there are elves.
And Aaron is funny too. The sister.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She cracks me up. She every time she says, "Ew, my brother's naked." It's like,
or she tells him not to bring a tart to dinner.
Yes, I had a little thing in Kane about the brother got caught with a girl, and the sister's calling her a tart, and my friend was like, who calls women tarts anymore? And I was like, well, I guess I do. I don't know. Yeah, she's a tart.
He brought a nice pudding to dinner and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I really enjoyed it. You guys were both, really terrific writers, and both good, paranormal stories, but yet so opposite in the writing, and they both entertained me so much. So thank you, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I love it when I get to read stories I really enjoy. Not that I don't enjoy all of them, but in my wheelhouse, I guess, the paranormal and the hauntings and things. MJ says, I wonder how many indie authors write for pleasure and not profit. I think most of us, darling,
All of us.
really.
All
Because if we're writing for profit, we're stupid. Anybody who does this job for a profit is not very bright, because it just isn't going to happen. I was like, I made $4 this month. Yay, me, go team. Woo!
Right.
No, that's why I do this show for free, because I know nobody could afford to pay me. No, actually, I do it because so many people helped me back in the beginning that, I just want to help everybody else. That's what it's all about.
Thank you.
I mean, really, I was so I had no clue when I started doing this. It was a joke. I was just like wandering lost in the woods. So I'm happy to do this for people. It makes me happy. Plus, I get everybody's books for free. I get their free. I love it. Yeah, that's the best part. I'm like, ooh, free books. Yes, I'll do this. So yes, this is the best job anybody could ask for. So yes, I love it. Okay. Many thanks, Beth. Oh, of course, my darling. Thank you for being here. You always perk up the show when you stop by, MJ. Let's see. I totally went out there again. So, I think I've hit just about everything this morning, and we've been going at it pretty good. I've got my half hour in. I have to keep it. Oh, shucks. You the best. Yes, I have to keep it at such a time or else StreamYard charges me. They're mean like that. So it was such a good thing to have you guys on the show. And I really appreciate you being here. Your books were fabulous. So I'm going to tell everybody it's Teresa Keefer and Sam Hain and Cassidy Weston.
Carrie Weston.
Carrie. It's been such a morning. And yes, it has been a morning, people.
This one. I had it right.
And yes,
I should have brought one of mine in here in the
yes, you should have. Yes, you should have. No, maybe I can. Let me see. Maybe I can get it up here on my Kindle. See if Kindle will let me show it, or if they'll argue with me. You know how sometimes you can pull it up and then it'll vanish on you again?
Oh, yeah.
I hate when they do that. There it is. Sam Hain. See, there it went. There it went.
See, I should have done this. I didn't even think about it.
Okay. There it is. Sam Hain. Mm-hmm. For everybody to see. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Yes, and Sam Hain by Teresa Keefer. And so everybody needs to check these out. They're both getting 5-star reviews. So that's 10, one for each. And if I could give them more, I would, because I really enjoyed them both so very much. And actually, I have the next 4 days off. So all the reviews that I've been needing to put up are getting put up this week. I think I have like 15 that I need to review and put up this week. So everybody who's been waiting on those reviews, you're going to get them this week. Yay! Now, I have not forgotten you. I just have not had time. And in there, I have to do, re-edit a book to republish. And oh, I will, hon. I will. I'll hitch up this evening. Yes, I have to re-edit a book to republish, and yes, I have interviews for my paranormal book, and yeah, I got to work on the poetry book and work on the book I'm working on, and yeah, there's a few other things in there. Maybe I'll see my kids someday. It's crazy, but it's life, and I love it. Everybody should love life. It's very important. Enjoy it. It's the only dang one you get. So eat it up. Okay, so thank you very much, ladies. Pick up these books. You're going to enjoy them very much. I promise you. Thank you so much for being on the show. You've both been wonderful. And we're going to say bye-bye for now. I will see you next Saturday, 10 a.m. Love ya. Bye-bye.